who is your NFL MVP? Who do you think deserves the MVP? In my opinion, it's between three guys. It's between Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen. Any other year, I think, like if this was last year, I think Josh Allen probably wins it over Lamar, and I think Mahomes probably wins it over Lamar. But this year, I just believe that Aaron Rodgers has been so great, so efficient, that he deserves the MVP. When you look at what Rodgers has done, he's thrown 48 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have thrown less touchdowns and more interceptions, and Rodgers this season has a 121.8 QB rating, which is the most efficient, that's the best QB rating since Aaron Rodgers did it early. I forgot what season, but Aaron Rodgers holds the record for the second most efficient season of all time, and now he holds the first with this season. And then, everybody's argument for these MVPs and these stats is, well, are you winning? Aaron Rodgers, they're a 13-win team. They have a bye. The Chiefs, they're a 14-win team. They have a bye. But 14, 13, it's like the same thing to me. It's just one more win. So if you clinch the bye and you have those numbers, I don't see why Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be MVP. He should be the MVP.
I want you to go first because I have a question after.
Yeah, and you listed the numbers, which I think are the top of the argument. You look at the numbers, nobody has had as good a statistical season as he has had. But also when you think about the MVP award, you could look at it last year with Lamar Jackson. You could look at it in the NBA with Giannis winning it, James Harden not winning it, and losing it to Russell Westbrook a few years ago. It is a headline-driven award. Sometimes guys will get it just because of the storyline. Russell Westbrook lost KD. He came out, he averaged a triple-double, and that gave him the edge in the MVP race. When you look at Aaron Rodgers coming into the season, there were a lot of question marks swirling. A lot of people doubted him. He got off to a rocky start with Matt LaFleur last season. People questioned how that dynamic was going to work out. They drafted Jordan Love. Is this it for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? Are they ready to move on? And then he came out, and he had one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen from a quarterback in NFL history. And the two guys that you mentioned, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, I don't think either of their teams have as glaring a weakness as the Packers' run defense. And he overcame that. I don't think that defensive unit is as good as the Chiefs' defense or the Bills' defense. I even think that the Bills and the Chiefs have better weapons than the Packers do. You could argue that it's a toss-up. I know he has Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, but beyond that, I don't know about MVS as a second option as a number 2 wide receiver. I think that wide receiver, the Bills and the Chiefs have a deeper wide receiving core. I don't think the Packers have that depth offensively. So I think situation-wise, storyline-wise, statistic-wise, any way you look at it, any lens you look at it through, Aaron Rodgers has been the guy this season. And I don't think anybody should argue against him for MVP.
Me and my brother, we have this argument all the time. He's a Green Bay Packers fan. He loves to throw in my face. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this year. Devontae Adams is the best receiver this year. And I have to give him props. I think Aaron Rodgers definitely deserves the MVP this year. When you look at the stats, he has out of the big 3 names, he has the best QBR, he has the most touchdowns, he has the best completion percent. But I want to ask this. Does Derrick Henry deserve to be in that conversation?
Any other year, yeah, but the quarterbacks have been playing so phenomenally well this year that I don't think he's top 5 in it, but he's not top 3.
So even with the 2K,
he's the top non-quarterback.
Okay.
I think there's no question about
MVP
that.
MVP is a pretty quarterback award, and I feel like running backs,
as it should be though, in my opinion.
I feel like running backs don't really get their, aside from AP, obviously don't get their due diligence. But Derrick Henry, does he deserve to be in that conversation?
The year that AP won it though, I don't think there was any quarterback that was putting up this level of production.
I can't even tell you.
Because I think that, when did he win it? 2013 or 2014?
I thought it was 12.
Let me check. I want to make sure I get this
right.
Because
I think that year, Drew Brees, you could just put the top 5 MVP candidates that year, and you could probably see their stats.
Yeah.
But like, in my opinion, the reason why I think Rodgers deserves it, and this is what I thought you were going to say, Jack, because when you mentioned the run defense, I agreed with you, but I thought you were going a different direction. I thought when you talked about glaring weakness, I thought you were going to talk about how the Packers offense, they don't have a second option outside of Devontae Adams.
And that's, you look at what he did with Robert Tonyan.
A true one, like wide receiver, yeah.
Like Robert Tonyan was their most reliable second option, and with any other team, does he become what he was this year? You know, I know he had a great season, but I think it was more a product of Aaron Rodgers being great than
He was
Robert
on the
Tonyan
team
being
last
a great
year.
player. You know what I'm saying? And you look at the Chiefs; they have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. That team is loaded. I could go on and on. The Bills, you know, their receiving core, I think, is one of the most underrated receiving cores in the
Cole
league.
Beasley, Diggs.
So
I think when you rank them, of course, the Chiefs are number one in terms of weapons.
Those are two.
Honestly, thinking about it now, I'm not sure. I think the Packers and the Bills are closer because of Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams.
Because of the running back.
Yeah, I think that plays a huge part. But he catches balls out the backfield.
Aaron Jones did deal with some injuries this year too, though. So there were games that he didn't play with Aaron Jones. Devontae Adams missed 2 games earlier in the season, so he had to deal with injuries too.
Aside from the running backs, if you had to rank John Brown, Cole Beasley, and Stephon Diggs.
John Brown was hurt for a lot of the year.
So if you had to, so if you had to just rank Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley, they'll both be right after Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is.
He's the best.
He's the best one.
Yeah. I think it'll be Diggs, then Beasley. Even if John Brown was not healthy, you would still put him ahead of the Packers secondary. So
yeah, but I think it's much closer because even though MVS is inconsistent, he's a great deep threat, and he really makes defenses stay on their toes because you always have to account for his speed. If he doesn't drop a lot of deep passes, he probably has way more yardage than he finished with this year.
That's his fault.
Jack, did you find the
I'm looking
top
for it right
candidates?
now.
Let me see. Let me try to find it.
Come on, bro. Sky.
All right, so it was 2012 that he won the MVP.
2012 MVP finalists. NFL. Let me
He
check.
beat out Peyton Manning.
Mm.
Peyton Manning came in second.
Oh, really? I thought
That
it
was
was
Peyton Manning on the Broncos?
I thought it was Tom
Or
Brady.
Indianapolis.
I'm pretty sure Peyton Manning was the year before or the year after he had like the greatest season ever.
So the year before Denver.
Yeah.
So let me
Last
see.
year in
You said
Indianapolis.
2012, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 2012 Peyton Manning had 37 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
Yeah. So I mean that's a good
That's Josh
season.
Allen.
Yeah,
no
Rodgers
question, but
Rodgers right now has 48
That's
touchdowns
to
and 5
5,
interceptions.
yeah.
That's
So it's not
literally
even
Josh
close.
Allen right now.
Yeah.
Josh
And Josh Allen has rushing touchdowns too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think when he won it, quarterbacks weren't playing as well as they're playing this season.
And it's also incredibly rare for it even says here in this article, Adrian Peterson was the first running back to win it since 2006 when Tomlinson won it. So,
yeah,
I mean, it just goes to show you the fact that Derrick Henry is in the conversation just goes to show how incredible of a season.
In order for a skills position player or defensive player to win the MVP, the quarterbacks of the league, the top quarterbacks have to have a statistically down year than years past. Like this year, a bunch of quarterbacks in any other year probably would have won it. Like Josh Allen probably wins it a year or two ago with these same numbers, and so does Patrick Mahomes,
Rodgers, and you still need to have a historical season like Derrick Henry had and put up a 2,000-yard season.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams would even be a guy I would put in my top 10 MVP conversation.